Hey guys, so today we are going to talk about prestige and letting go of it. So let's get into it. Now, I've had a thought. It's not a great thought, but it's a thought. My thought is this: how do you make something good? Well, how do you make something good? How do you create software that is well made? It's a tricky question. Now, some will argue that taking great bit of care and really trying your best to make sure that the code is clean and that the designs are good and the performance is good and you have all the right tools and you've dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's, that's the approach to do this. And I agree, that is probably the way to build software. But I argue that there's something that is more important in order to build good software. And that is experience. You see, one thing that will never change as far as I'm concerned is that if you don't have the experience, nothing you produce will be quote unquote good. A beginner who puts maximum effort into building something will never, regardless of how much effort they put in, be able to produce something that a true master attempts with just a kind of casual outlook on things, for the most part. Because the experience that the master has will actually produce better results, even though even if they don't necessarily put absolutely everything into it. Now, this is of course subjective and it can differ, but that's my thought. And you see, you may or may not have realized that I'm one of those people who advocate what I call MVP. What does MVP stand for? It stands for minimal viable product. Now, the idea of MVP is to build the least feasible thing the quickest that you can, so that you can attain feedback on that one thing, even though it's not perfect, even though it's the most crappy thing in the world, and see what happens. And that, my friend, has served me better than trying to build things perfectly. When I first started out, I did as most juniors will. I tried to build perfect software and I tried to think about everything. I did all the research, read all the books. I tried to do all these things. And it was only because I felt that that's the quality of software I'm now expected to produce. But you see, the problem was that although I tried to adhere to the best practices and I tried to build the perfect thing on every attempt, I couldn't. Like, the results were still crap because I did not have the experience to really know how to build something that was quote unquote good. And so when I finally realized that I simply don't have enough experience to produce professional level software, I let it go. I let go of the prestige and had another mindset. Okay, I thought, what can I do in order to attain experience? Because the experience is the thing in my mind that is going to help me produce better software. Well, what I came to realize was that the more stuff I build, the better I will get. Duh. So I started building stuff just over and over and over. I tried to, hobby projects, all kinds of small projects, just produced as much as I humanly could. I just got an idea. I thought, all right, wouldn't it be cool if I could build something like this? And then I had the mindset that I don't care how good it is. I don't care if it even works. I just want to see what I will learn from trying to build this thing. So I started building things over and over. My repository on GitHub is full of these nothing projects that some of them work, some of them don't work. It doesn't matter because I just kept on pushing, I kept on producing. It's the same thing with this channel. Guys, I produce roughly 2 to 6 videos a day. And it's not because, I go for quality necessarily, because this is the same thing, guys. My thought is very simple. My thought is that if I ever want to be able to produce the sort of high quality content that the big channels are producing, even though this is just my little hobby, you know, I'm one of those people, I want to be the best that I can be at everything I do. If I ever want to get there, I can have the approach of trying to make each video as perfect as possible, and maybe I'll get there in 10 years. Or I have the approach that maybe if I just produce enough stuff just over and over and over, and I will actually get there quicker, because I will learn more from each video, and over time I will actually refine my process. That's just that's the thought I have, and so far it's working out pretty well. I mean, if I look at my software just a few years ago when I started having this approach, and if I just look at even these videos, there is at least in my eyes, a clear improvement in the quality of what I am producing. And it's all thanks to just building things, just over and over and over and over. Just letting go of that, letting go of the prestige, and simply focusing on trying to build something. Because what happens is that you try to build something, and once you try, you will have issues. You will have to look things up. You will learn things on the way, and when you're done, you will evaluate what you made and think, this was pretty good, this was not so good, and then you move on and you build something similar, or the next thing, and then you do that over and over and over until you don't really learn so much from building anything. That's what experience is, guys. That's what you need to. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. That's the process that you go through your entire life. Repetition. You repeat things over and over and over. And if you want to get experienced quickly, the quicker you can make these journeys, the faster you will actually learn. Sure, the stuff that you produce may be absolute garbage, but if you produce garbage for long enough, sooner or later, it's going to stop being garbage. And all I can tell you is that this is a mindset that I have applied for quite a few years now. And here we are. It's not perfect, and there are other ways to achieve experience, but it's working out very well for me. Have a great day.